Hi everybody, it's Dr. Shawn Talbott, Monavi's Chief Science and Innovation Officer, and welcome to another edition of From the Lab. We're just out of our North American convention where we launched our brand new stress category with our new products, Balance and Rest. And I want to take a few minutes to dive a little deeper into the science behind those products. You know, I'm insanely excited about the fact that we're in this stress category now, because stress is something that affects virtually every aspect of your metabolism. If you're overstressed, your body is getting more oxidized, so it's depleting your body of antioxidants. If you're overstressed, it's interfering with your body's ability to modulate its blood sugar control. If you're overstressed, you're more likely to be fatigued and be perceiving that fatigue more acutely, so you just feel suppressed all the time. So now that we're in this stress category, we can do yet one more thing to help people feel better. And we do it with the natural blends, the natural approaches that we have in these two new products, Monavi Balance and Monavi Rest. So let's talk a little bit about what makes each one of those products unique and different. And I'll start with the Rest product. Well, first of all, let me step back and talk about stress in general, right? One of the problems with stress, as I see it, is that a lot of people just feel like there's nothing they can do about it. You know, we find ourselves living in these stressful worlds where we don't have enough time, where we don't have enough time to eat, where we just are frantic, where almost these days stress is worn almost like a badge of honor. You know, you can't find anybody who isn't overstressed, who just complains about the level of stress in their lives. And if you think about it, where that stress comes from, it comes from worrying about bills. It comes from worrying about family issues. It comes from traffic jams. It comes from all of those little things that are always just kind of there in the background. That's what we mean when we talk about chronic stress. And when we look at the statistics on chronic stress, we can see that upwards of 75–80% of people in North America, and really in any industrialized country in the world, have enough stress, enough of that sort of back-of-the-mind chronic stress that it results in some sort of a physical ailment, a stress-related condition. And again, the problem with that is that people will sometimes look at their situation and say, well, my life is just stressful, there's nothing I can do about that. And what I want you to understand is that there's plenty that you can do about that. We can still live in a stressful environment, but we can thrive in that stressful environment if we can get our body to have a normal stress response instead of an overactive stress response or a chronic stress response. That's where the problem comes in. You know, people will very often be stressed and they'll say, I feel stressed, or I feel tired, or I feel depressed, or I feel low mood, or just blah, whatever word you want to put to it, they feel there's nothing they can do about that. But the thing that's really scary about being overstressed or being sleep deprived, which is a unique biological stress in and of itself, is that as we're stressed, our stress hormone balance changes. And because of that, our body gets into a state that we refer to as catabolic, where it's breaking down faster than it can build itself back up and repair the damage that we put ourselves through. So we can see this damage visually when we look at cellular metabolism. We can look at neurons, brain cells, and we can see that when we're under stress, they break down faster. We can look at muscle cells and bone cells and blood vessel cells and skin cells, and we can see that they break down faster in response to stress. There's only one tissue in the body that builds up faster in response to chronic stress and sleep deprivation, and that's your belly fat. Your belly fat can actually grow because of some unique biochemical signals sent to your belly fat cells by your stress hormones. So by balancing your stress, by balancing your body's ability to have that normal stress response, we can help you not just feel better, not just have less tension, not just feel more vibrant throughout the day, but we can put your body into that biochemical state where it does what it's supposed to do, which is to repair itself and heal itself and do what your body does so well, which is that restorative process when you're in balance. We've been doing it for years on the antioxidant side. We've been doing it for years on the blood glucose side and on the energy side. And now we're finally able to do it in that sort of that last slice of the puzzle, that stress control piece. And one thing I think that you'll be aware of as you try the product is that all these products work together. When you use the stress products and when you get a good night's sleep, you'll see that your blood glucose is better controlled. You'll see that your antioxidant levels are maintaining themselves better because they're not being depleted. You'll see that your energy levels are rising because you're not having that chronic stress during the day and that restlessness at night that are weighing you down. So that's sort of the context of where we are right now. Huge, huge problems in the world in terms of chronic stress. Huge, huge problems in the world in terms of sleeplessness. And let me give you a perspective for that before I talk about the two individual products. Think about the difference between what our bodies need in terms of sleep, about 8 hours per night on average, versus what we get, about 6 hours on average, if you look at some of the sleep surveys. That difference between 8 hours and 6 hours, 2 measly hours, doesn't really sound like a lot. But biologically and biochemically, it's a huge deal. Some of the top sleep researchers in the country have shown that little change, that loss of 2 hours of sleep, means you have about 50% more stress hormones, such as cortisol, which interferes with insulin function, which changes your blood sugar metabolism, which changes your appetite and your ability to lose weight and lose fat, and it can actually lead you to a pre-diabetes state where you're more likely to gain weight. There are great studies that show that the less sleep you get, the more likely you are to be overweight. There's great studies to show that the more stressed out you are, the more likely you are to be overweight. So you can see how all of these sort of fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. And by controlling them all, balancing them all at the same time, we can really get some wonderful health benefits. So how do we do that? The way we do that is by combining the right ingredients in the right proportions at the right levels and then giving that to you in a product that just fits into your already stressful lives. And those products are Monavie Rest and Monavie Balance. Let's talk about the Rest product first. This is a formulation that comes to us from the tradition of Brazil. The blend that we find here in this ready-to-drink tea is a blend of fennel, chamomile, and lemon balm that's literally been used by Brazilian grandmothers for generations. They'll brew that into a tea and they'll give it to children to help them relax and get a good night's sleep. We can use that exact same formulation in a ready-to-drink tea. So we combine those three natural ingredients along with inositol, which is kind of like a B vitamin that helps with neuronal chemistry to help your nerves in your brain conduct better when you're under chronic stress. And we use a little bit of sugar, a little bit of organic cane juice to encourage the brain to do something that's very important for sleep. And that's take up this amino acid called tryptophan, which is associated with relaxation. So we get the traditional blend of those three herbs. We get the science of biochemistry and neuronal physiology with inositol and a little bit of sugar. And we combine that together into a delicious drink that you just drink 30 to 60 minutes before you want to be asleep, and out you go. It doesn't put you to sleep, but it encourages your body to relax and unwind enough so that when we want to sleep, we can get into those deeper stages. And we know this from some of the studies that we've done. We've just completed a very important pilot study here at Monavie where we show that people who take rest versus not taking rest fall asleep faster, sleep longer. More of those minutes of their sleep are in REM sleep, the rapid eye movement sleep, which is associated with those deeper stages of sleep where we're really getting that rest and recuperation, and also a higher quality of sleep. So rest is a product where you'll use it when you want to get that good night's sleep, which is maybe every night or maybe only on your most stressful days, but whenever you use it, you can be assured that you're going to be getting that deep restorative sleep where you'll wake up the next day and be ready to go. Because if you don't wake up the next day ready to go, if you do what a lot of people do and just try to put your head down and say, okay, I'm going to sleep now, I'm going to sleep now, that doesn't work very well. And what happens is you wake up the next day in a sleep-deprived state, and that sets off the stress response cycle again and again and again. It's a terribly vicious cycle to get into. Because what happens is you drag yourself through the whole day fatigued, and then at night you're restless and you can't fall asleep. And so it just happens over and over and over again. So let's talk about the daytime stress levels and how we can get those under control. What you don't want to do is what a lot of companies do, and turn to something like a valerian or a kava kava or one of these sort of sedating kinds of herbal products, because nobody wants to be sedated during the day. Your stress levels might be lower, but you'll be kind of a zombie. You don't want that. You want to have lower tension, lower irritability, but still good mental focus, still good energy levels. And that's exactly what we do in Manavi Balance. And we do it by giving you an AM formula and a PM formula in the same product. The AM formula is based on a traditional Malaysian root called Tongat Ali. This is something that's non-stimulant, but increases energy levels and increases mental and physical energy throughout the day because of the way it helps you maintain normal stress hormone profiles. In fact, we've just completed a study that's been published in the Journal of the International Society for Sport Nutrition that looked at Tongat Ali and how it can help alleviate daytime stress levels in people who are moderately stressed. What we found in that study was a significant remodulation of stress hormone physiology, which resulted in those people feeling better throughout the day in terms of their mood state parameters. Lower tension, better energy levels, exactly what you want during the day. The PM capsule is based on several ingredients, but highlighting one, the magnolia bark that's combined with philodendron, something that we call Relora. That Relora ingredient has also just been the subject of a very new scientific study, also in the Journal of the International Society for Sport Nutrition. And what we found there was when you take Relora, it helps reduce tension, lowers cortisol, that primary stress hormone, to a significant level, and then changes mood state dramatically. Lower tension, better mood, higher vigor, which is associated not only with physical energy, but mental focus. But the cool thing about magnolia bark is that it can get us into a state of relaxed alertness, a state where if you want to sleep, you can sleep. If you want to just relax and enjoy your evening, you can do that. So I'm excited from the standpoint of we have an AM/PM anti-stress formula in the form of Manavi Balance, and we have a nice, natural, traditional sleep formula in the form of Manavi Rest that we can use as part of a system. It really is your system to control modern stress and the modern stress response in our bodies. You know, we're out of convention only a couple of days now, and people are just off the hook about what they're saying about the product. You know, we have the data, which is great from my perspective, but when we actually hear people say what's happened to them after using the products for just 3 or 4 days, it's amazing. People are telling us that they feel like they're back to their normal self. They feel like their tension is lower. They feel like their energy levels are higher in a different way than what we're doing with some of our other products. So that's all really good. But one piece of post-consumer data that I want to share with you is our repurchase rates. When we ask people after they've tried a product, would you consider doing 2 things? Would you consider buying this product again? And would you consider recommending this product to a friend or family member? Typically, if you get numbers around 35%, you feel pretty good about yourself. You feel that you have a product that has staying power in the market. Our survey is coming back and showing us that for both of those parameters, would you buy it again and would you recommend it to a friend or family member? We're in the 80% range and above. That is literally out of the park. So that tells us a few things. It tells us that we're in a good category which is very, very underserved. There aren't a lot of products that meet those needs of helping people balance stress and helping people relax enough where they can go to sleep. It tells us that people are enjoying the way that these products make them feel in terms of stress and sleep patterns. But it also tells us that these products are making them feel so good, and that's a product that is fitting in such a niche in their lives that they can't be without it. And so we know what we're going to see is high reorder rates. We know we're going to see high sharing. We know we're going to see people talking about this remarkable product. And by that I mean remarkable, that it's something that they can actually remark about. It's something that they feel enough in their bodies that they want to share it with other people. And that's what our business is all about. Our business is about helping people feel better so they can live that more meaningful life. But it's also about the business opportunity. Think about where most of the chronic stress comes from It's from finances. It's from worrying about bills. It's from worrying about your car payment and your mortgage and your paycheck and your job and all that kind of stuff. Monavie has a solution for that as well. We have our business opportunity. So now we're really to the point where Monavie is probably the first company in the entire nutrition industry to have an overall suite of products that can balance you in all of these different ways. That's exciting, and that's what I want to, this From the Lab is all about, so that we can dive into the deepness of those products and you can figure out how they work, why they work, what's unique about these products in the marketplace. So check out these 2 new products in our stress category, Monavie Balance, Monavie Rest. There's tons of research on our website about each one of them, but the truth of it, the proof of it, is when you try it in your own body and you feel that benefit, and you'll remark on it as well. So that's all for today. Thanks for joining me on this edition of From the Lab. I'm Dr. Shawn Talbott. See you next time. Hey, this is Dr. Shawn Talbott. Don't forget to send in your questions so that we can answer them on future editions of From the Lab. Just send your emails to the address that you see at the bottom of the screen. Thanks.